place today. So, Francis, let's start with you. You were actually here in studio, all day, and I've been monitoring what's been happening. Some surprises, like we said, there's been no fuel, there's been no milk, there's been no rain, but there was plenty of tears. Just tell us what the day has been like. There's been chaos, obviously, as we've, witnessed before. But are we likely to see some surprises?
Well, last week on Thursday, right here on Newsgang, we said there would be premium tears. And true there were. Literally, we saw tears. That is Joyce Korir, the woman representing...
Yeah, so explain this.
In Bomet County.
Yeah, explain this to us.
She was complaining that there were pre-marked ballot papers and that the exercise was not free and fair in Bomet County. She's competing against other 8 ladies gunning for the UDA ticket in Bomet County woman representative race in the August polls. And so there was an altercation and she got emotional. And it can get very frustrating. Nominations can be very frustrating, and especially in a situation where that ticket is very, very critical. Critical in the sense that, you see, there's some parts of our country where political parties can be deemed strongholds. That if you get a party's ticket in a certain area, you're almost assured of getting that seat that you're looking for. Put it this way, in Bomet, for that woman representative race, if you get the UDA ticket, you are at a very, very, very advantageous position in the August race. And so that is exactly what was happening, the claims of pre-marked ballot papers. And it is not just her. Quite a number of these aspirants, by tomorrow morning, you will see a lot of crying because some will have lost. And probably by now, they know how the situation looks like. Because nominations are very, very, very competitive. And especially in an area where if you get that ticket, you're home and dry. But at the same time, remember, it's an investment. People have been out there campaigning. You have recruited agents. You have produced merchandise and so on and so forth. So it's a costly affair. Now you can imagine your investment, all the money that you have spent in the last 3 months or so
goes down the drain.
Goes down the drain as you watch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would trigger tears ordinarily. But, hey, this is a good effort by the United Democratic Alliance. It is also a good effort by ODM. I would say those are the 2 main political parties that have attempted to conduct nominations in the proper sense of it. Because here is IEBC that conducts an election every 5 years and spends billions of shillings, 50 billion plus in this election that we're heading to in August. And with all those resources, on 9th of August, you can be 100% sure that there will be hitches, delays in bringing the ballot papers, there will be claims of rigging and so on and so forth. So you can imagine when a political party attempts to do the nominations, you give them credit even for the very attempt at nominations. So, well, kudos to the parties that have attempted, but it's also growth in democracy. Maybe in future there will be attempts to better what has been done today, and hopefully in future, in 2, 3, 4, 5 elections that we're heading to, we will have proper nominations conducted such that the tears that we see by Joyce and others will not be there.
Yvonne, yes. Samagina was actually in your primary school.
Yes.
Is there tonight in
Highlands Primary School in Kericho County,
yeah.
Where there could be premium tiers because of the results that are trickling in.
But lakini Jamila, was it nini ama ilikuwa pia Riverbank?
No, nilikuwa Highlands.
Then there was Riverbank is just there where I grew up. Anyway, sorry.
Class 7, then we moved here.
Okay,
but
okay. Sorry, carry on.
Pastoralist in Jamila.
Exactly. I move around. So for me, when I was seeing Highlands Primary School, I was excited because it's my school. But Yvonne, what Gashuri talks about is very important. We've seen what has happened today, all those challenges that were faced. Like we talked about, kituo cha kupiga kura kimefunguliwa kuchelewa. Makaratasi ya kupiga kura hakuna. Kuna jana we saw some that had been banned.
Right.
We had those in Embu. We had allegations of already marked ballot papers kipatikana mahali fulani, and we see that during elections. But I agree with Gashuri. It's actually a tall order to expect political parties to be able to do this and have it flawless. We talked about how IEBC has billions of shillings to do this every 5 years, and we always see some of these issues. They are familiar. But then now the issue of cost is a big deal. I was listening to UDA leader William Ruto talking about how even their transport costs have doubled the budget they had set, because some of those who had been given the contract were unable to deliver. But they've done their best. Yes, there are all these instances, but they will have results in a lot of these polling stations. They have gone the consensus route quite a bit. We've seen quite a number of aspirants who've been given the direct nomination in a lot of parts of this country, because you want to try as much as possible, Yvonne, not to have to go through this nomination exercise. It's difficult, it's long, it's costly. There are those who will say, do it once, kama leo, like UDA, and you have it over and done with. And there are those who will say, do it slowly over a period of time, like what ODM is doing, to be able to do that. Because nominations, for me, I remember those who are my age, Mlolongo, what used to happen them days, and I'm sure Linus will give us a history lesson on that, where mmoja anasimama and you all line up behind that person.
And you see one long line and one very short one.
Premium tiers zilianza wakati huo hivyo. Yes. Because as Gashuri said, there are some parts of this country where ukipata tikiti ya chama, you're a shoo-in. That's why you see like places like Wasingishu, you have 8 aspirants who all want the UDA ticket for governor. You have other places in Northeastern where you have 5 who want the same ticket because of the political affiliation or the political environment at the time. But I think we need to commend UDA, Yvonne, because it's not easy. We've seen all sorts of challenges across the day, but we've seen instances where the people have voted peacefully, kura vituo vilifunguliwa in good time, watu walipiga kura na wakaondoka. So I think we should commend them.
Yeah, so Linus, let's, how does what we've seen today compare with 2017, with 2013? You know, in many respects, you know, this is the halfway mark, and we will now, after the nominations are done, have a very clear picture of really what we will be going to the ballot to select on the 9th of August. But then again, you know, this is quite the machinery that we see with political parties. Some familiar scenes, some unfamiliar. In fact, you know, adoption of more consensus this time around compared to universal suffrage in the years gone by. What would you say, you know, has been your perspective considering, you know, past nomination exercises and this one we've seen today?
The true and sad story is nothing has changed. And it goes way back. And there is that saying about doing things the same way and expecting different results. We are here because party structures are really very weak in this country. Are we aware, for example, that not a single party has ever conducted what we call grassroots elections? Meaning then that up to the village level, you have party officials who have been elected.
By the party members.
By the party and by the party members.
Yeah.
What we've seen today is what we saw in 2017. It's what we will see with other parties like ODM and Jubilee. It's about kubambanya elections, basically, where the party headquarters tries the best it can to put together a semblance of an election where a few people will gather and be able to actually put a result and select or elect a candidate. The party structures, as currently constituted, do not support sound party nominations because there are no structures in the grassroots. What we have are people being sent by the party headquarters to go and organize those elections and try and get a result out of it. But the other thing is you can see there is an appetite for party politics in this country. When you look at, you know, candidates crying, you know, it's also a measure of passion that is commendable. I mean, they're crying because of what they are going through, but it's also because they feel very strongly about the process that is going on. When KANU was in office as the only party, it actually used to conduct grassroots party elections down to the constituency. Very powerful constituency chairman, secretary general, council, and all that. And all those were elected through a direct vote with the party members. And those days, I think everyone who was above the age of 18 was a KANU member. That was the last time we had very organized party nominations. Party nominations were also, just like now, like Francis would say, guided. You know, guided in a way because the party wants particular results.
Yeah.
In the Kanu days, it is the DCs and DOs that will deliver a particular result of who the nominee should be. And my first encounter with these nominations was in KICC. I think I spoke about it some time back, where I found adult males actually crying tears. At least the lady in Bomet is a lady, so you know, for men to cry, grown-up men to cry, that happens because party nominations, unfortunately, is survival for the fittest game. That is what it purely is. Don't expect democratic elections in nominations. It's about who mobilizes better, who ensures there'll be a turnout at the right time and the right place. And I think, without going into details, because we will get to know the stories out there from next week when now things are settling down. There are these first-timers who have gone to politics, and they have gone to nominations today and realized vitu ni different kwa ground, because it doesn't work that way. You may be really very popular on the platform, but come election day, somehow things work differently. And some guy who doesn't speak well, but who does things differently, is somehow the leader in that nomination exercise. So our primaries are totally structureless. They are a survival for the fittest game. They are a game for the strongest. If you have resources, if you have the ability to mobilize, you stand a good chance of passing the nominations. And I want to say this, it really works uniformly, regardless the party. What UDA did today is exactly what Jubilee and what ODM and what Wiper can do. Because none of these parties have strong structures in the grassroots where the local party branch officials can organize a credible constituency primary to select who becomes the candidate for MP. At that level.
Sorry, I like News Gang because the feedback is instant. We have online news gangsters, Dr. Julius Kones, Dr. Ngeno, Kipngeno K2, Felix Omariba, Nico Kibet, and Julius Rono have stood on a point of information. They're informing me that Joyce Korir is vying for the Bomet Central MP, not woman representative. My bad. Information taken.
Thank you.
Gladly.
You. Yes, and that's a good place to leave it for a break. We're not done. And so for all of you gangsters who are watching and sending your feedback, keep that coming. The hashtag is NewsGang. We continue with our conversation on party nominations. What we hope to see next, in the next few weeks, remember 22nd is the deadline, and what the outcome could be. Could it be a fallout in the parties? Are we likely to see some big names falling? Plus, also want to talk about some drama in Parliament this afternoon.